Joining us.
All right. Get up for this.
Get up early, right?
I'm really right next to you.
Yeah, well, because we have the 5 coming, right? Yeah.
Um,
All right, we'll let you get settled. As a reminder, please silence or put your cell phones on vibrate. For those on Zoom, please raise your hand and we'll try to get you in as well. No live video streaming and, once again, no flash photography. We're going to go ahead and get started. Coach, if you could give an opening statement, please.
yeah, got a lot of work to do, for sure. Happy to have it. Happy to have this opportunity. Happy to be in this situation for sure. Running up against an amazing team, but I still want to go back to Villanova's performance because what a gutsy comeback by them. What great coaching, and they're just an excellent team. So, really happy. For women's basketball in general, that was a heck of a game with a lot of storylines to it. So, but moving forward, which we're going to do, we're going to do it really quickly and we're going to do it really well. I feel we've, some familiarity a little bit with LSU, a little bit more than we would have had with Utah, just some of the players and stuff. Excellent talent, incredible coaching, obviously, tons of passion, tons of grit. I feel sorry for the referees because they got 2 coaches who are going to pour into it a little bit on the sideline. And yeah, I mean, if it's about toughness, you got 2 great examples of it in LSU and Miami.
Question starting with Aaron.
Aaron Beard with the AP. Katie, how did you spend last night in terms of balancing prep for getting ready for this game, but also letting your team sort of bask a little bit and doing something they hadn't done before?
Yeah, I kind of get a little bit separated from them. I was on the just because we go straight to scout and I'm out on the court and all that. But I honestly took a little bit. I had a lot of family in town. They traveled from all different. My family story is pretty awesome. And I first thing I said is like, give me about an hour to be a human. Like I wanted to sit there. I had my nieces and my great nieces, my mom, sitting in my hotel room bed, sitting there, like all of us in a big picture, just like watching the game, the finish up of the LSU Utah. And I just thought, goodness gracious, like it's a moment for a lot of people, not just me. And I'm going to share that with as many people as I can, because if we can bring joy to anyone at any time, we're going to do it.
Andrew?
Katie, I was hoping to ask you a more bigger picture question, just in terms of what you making the Elite-8 and your men's team making the Elite-8 means for the University of Miami and for basketball on your campus.
Oh, I think it's a really, really big deal. Our arena is like right on campus. It's right there. It's been a little bit more lit this year with the attendance and the students, and we have this student organization Category 5. They've done an amazing job. The passion, the grit. I mean, the 2 programs have a lot in common. We're very competitive, like a big brother, little sister, big sister, little brother, depending on who won that week. We get that way with each other, and I love it. I mean, any opportunity you have to have somebody push you, whether you're laying on a training table next to somebody, one player next to the other player saying, why'd you miss that shot? Well, whatever, and you didn't. And they're right there competing with each other in a very loving way, and I think it's elevated both of our programs.
Down here on the right.
Yeah, Mitchell Northam filling in with the Miami Herald. Katie, Lola strikes me as someone who's a bit of an underrated player.
Totally.
Does a lot that doesn't show up in the box score. But I'm just kind of curious, what makes her so important to y'all, and how important will she be when you're facing an All-American post player that LSU has in Angel Reese?
Yeah, Lola's a big key, and you're smart to grab that. She has always been. She's pretty cerebral. A lot goes on inside her head. She's really thinking the game. She's really following the scouting report. You're right about her being underestimated, because if you think about, and I'm going through them right now in my mind, but any big win we've had, there's a Lola stop that gives me faith. There's a Lola stop that ignites our team. There's something she does that just anchors us. And, there's going to have to be quite a few Lola stops.
Chantel?
Katie, Chantel Jennings with The Athletic. I'm just curious, as you look back to sort of the first 5 years at Miami when you guys didn't make the NCAA tournament, if there were any key learnings sort of from those 5 seasons that, changed you as a coach or helped you get to this point?
Oh, yeah, there's a big one. Brenda Fries, who is a friend, like we're friends. We went texting through the day last night and this morning. My first year, was it my first year of the year? Yeah, Maryland, Carolina, and Duke. And Maryland was in the ACC. They all went to the Final Four. I think I played those 3 teams like in a 10-day span or something. It felt like it anyway. But Maryland was the last. They were, if they beat us, they won the conference outright. And in warm-ups, I was like, oh, we got a problem. So the good news is, and we scored 62 points, and I was thrilled. But they scored like 102 or something. And I went back to my house, and I just sat by my pool, and I was like, what have I done? Like, this is insurmountable, the amount we got beat by an excellent team. But it helped give me faith, because the next, 3 weeks later or whatever, all those teams are in the Final Four, and I'm like, oh, okay, I had perspective on really what I'd done and why I did it, because we're not here right now if we didn't get beat up a little bit, throughout the year. And in the nation's best conference, arguably, I'm, of course, going to say it is. We got beat up, and we got out-strategized, and we got out-coached, and we got outplayed, and we got out-hustled, and all these things happened to us this year. And thank God for it, because here we are.
Scott?
Scott Rabelais with the Baton Rouge Advocate and the Times-Picayune. Obviously, you spent some formative years in New Orleans
I sure
at
did.
Tulane, coaching for Lisa Stockton. I'm sure some games against LSU. I was just wondering what memories or what formative things happened for you while you were there, and are you as eager to see what Kim might wear tomorrow as the rest of us are?
Number one, my very first call after we beat Indiana the next morning was Lisa Stockton. And I called her up, and I didn't realize I was on speakerphone. She was in a staff meeting. And I said, Lisa, I need you to come. You need to come to Greenville. Like, you're my mentor. Like, I can't do this without you. I need you here. And I could hear her getting a little choked up. I got a little choked up, and they had a visit. But I think you're going to see Lisa here. I need her here. She's done everything for me, and a dear, dear friend, but somebody that took a chance on me when I had I had 8 months coaching experience. And she got a new job, and she thought I was somebody that could help her win some games. If you want to find a classier, you're not going to find a classier person in college athletics than Lisa Stockton. So that's number one. Number two, I don't know what Kim's going to wear, but I'm going to wear overalls. Because opportunity is missed by a lot of people because it's dressed up in overalls and looks like work. So I'm wearing overalls. Put it out there.
Aaron?
I'm curious, how much do you address when you're talking to your team? You've got the X's and O's and the scout and all those things.
Do I?
Well,
Not yet.
well, when you talk to them,
Yeah.
but the history of potentially, I think it would be the match the lowest seed ever to reach a Final Four. Those types of significance. Is there any of that stuff you talk to your team about?
No, that's not in our bubble at all. It's not in our bubble. If that kind of stuff was going to get in our bubble, I think it would have happened prior, when we had this week right now. But we know what now. We know what we need to do. We know we have a very short time. We're pretty locked in. We just can't afford it. We just can't afford it. There's only so much capacity in your mind right now, and if you go down that rabbit hole and that rabbit hole and that rabbit hole, then you're wasting what you need. Jay Billis is a dear friend. He texted me this morning. He said, you need intensity without tension. And I'm like, what a great quote. And I just told my team that in the locker room, we got to play intense but without tension. So that's what we're going to try to do.
Can you follow up real quick, Aaron?
Real quick. You guys have won 3 close games. You've gone through multiple All-Americans, and you're going to have to do it again. What is this maybe tournament run? Is there anything extra it's brought out of your team that, something more that you hadn't seen as much in the regular season?
Hey, I tell you, it's kind of why you play tough non-conference games too, because you get exposed, and as a coach, you understand the moment always. Not always, but after how many every years I've been coaching, I kind of get, ooh, this is a big possession, or we got to get to the media timeout, right? Like the nuances of the game, scripting the game, you get it. And you're begging your team a lot of times, trying to show them lessons, trying to show them films or whatever. But to understand that I saw them, and I saw, our bench understanding, okay, we're trying to get to the fourth quarter right now. We're trying to get there. And everybody was on the same page, and the starters that were in foul trouble were saying, "Coach, put us in." And I'm like, we still have the lead. That whole conversation, that wasn't just the coaches telling the players, but the whole group was getting it. That's huge, and we're there right now because of these games, and now they've got the recollection of it, what one rebound will make, what one stop will make, what one scout will make, one going back and saying, oh yeah, I need to jump left on this, whatever. That one moment, we're just on the edge right there on a lot of plays right now that in November there's no way I would have had the attention of my team like I have now. There's just no way, and no other coach would either.
Andrew?
I'm just curious how often you've played against Kim and her teams, considering there's not a whole lot of crossover between where she's been and
Right.
where you've been.
Yeah. Baylor in Orlando, I think we played when she was at Baylor, for sure. I coached against her there. Gosh, I'm just remembering this memory about Kim when I'm not trying to give her age away, but I literally watched her in the Final Four in my house and went and got a Louisiana Tech little jacket thing and wore it around because I thought she was really cool.
Down here on the right.
Yeah, yesterday was the first time I had seen you all play in person since the ACC tournament.
A little different?
Yeah, so I was just kind of wondering, what went wrong against Virginia Tech that day that has gone right since?
I think I've referenced this quite a bit. First of all, Virginia Tech is amazing. I mean, once again, it was like getting beat by Maryland and then seeing them in the Final Four and going, okay, there's a little perspective here. They were amazing, and they were on a mission. But we were sloppy. We were sloppy. And I keep saying it, but we just needed some time. We needed what we call Camp Miami. And after the ACC tournament, we all went to Camp Miami. And we worked on passing and tossbacks and catching lower, getting our posture right defensively. We didn't do any schemes. We didn't have an opponent. And to do that, not knowing exactly what your fate's going to be, that took a lot of grit from my team. Because Camp Miami, we don't have like a recess and water balloons, right? It's not really Camp Miami. It's hard. And we do like pick your fate, and you don't know which conditioning thing you're going to have. And we do 1-on-1, and then if you lose, and 2-on-2, and 3-on-3, and 4-on-4, and if you get 13th place in practice, and you got 13 sprints, and 12th place, and we just went at each other. Just no practice squad, no whatever, and we went at each other for quite some time, and an identity emerged from that.
Got time for maybe one question right here in the front. Last question.
Hey, Coach Jacques Doucet, WAFB TV in Baton Rouge. I know the LSU coaching staff has said that they're not sure they've ever seen a rebounder like Angel Reese with both hands and her ability to work angles and whatnot. What kind of challenge is she to box out and keep off the boards in this game?
Gosh, what is their actual percentage, LSU's actual percentage when they cross half court? Okay, I know their shooting percentage, but I'm talking about possession-wise, right? If they rebound 50% of their misses, and so you go to that number and you're just astonished. Like they're just incredible when the ball crosses half court and the ball goes. It's not how many shots they can take 5 shots. So that's one to me. They crossed half court one time, and they probably scored. Their percentage in that situation is incredible. Their possession percentage, and Angel's the big reason for it. But there's a lot of grit in their guards. A lot of grit on their backside. You can give Angel a ton of attention, and they hunt the backside like nobody's business. So there's a lot of work to do for us, a lot of work to do. I'm really glad I have a team that doesn't mind getting in the mud a little bit because we're going to need to.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
As a reminder, Miami's open locker room media availability is from 8:20 to 8:50, from 8:20 to 8:50, and we'll have the Miami student athletes in here in just a few minutes. We'll have the Miami student athletes with us in just a few minutes. As a reminder, the LSU press conference starts at 9:15 with head coach Mulkey, and then at 9:35 we'll have the LSU student athletes. LSU open locker room media availability is from 9:30 to 10 a.m. And obviously we got 2 games today too. Number 3 Notre Dame versus number 2 Maryland at 11:30, and then number 4 UCLA versus number 1 South Carolina at 2 p.m. How are y'all? Good morning. How are y'all today? Good. Again, as a reminder, make sure to please silence or once we get shuffled in, please silence your cell phones or put it on vibrate. Obviously, no flash photography and no live video streaming of today's press conference. Please state your name and affiliation. We'll get you a microphone as well. And please, particularly since we have 5 on stage, direct your question to a student athlete. Questions? Down low in the front.
Yeah, Mitchell Northam, Miami Herald. Lola, Katie was just saying, you know, a lot of y'all's big wins lately, there has been a big Lola stop somewhere in the game that has kind of sparked the team. How much do you pride yourself on your defense?
I pride myself very much. I just think that if I can somehow apport on offense, I have to give my all on defense. I think defense is a want, so I want to get stops, so I do it. Yeah.
Destiny, I'll get you to brag about your teammate. How important is Lola to what y'all do and your success that you've had lately?
I think Lola's a big part of our success. I don't think she's talked about enough. I think the Indiana game, she really showcased her skills, you know, offensively and defensively. And I think a lot of people, you know, overlooked that. But I believe she's been one of our top players on the team, and she haven't gotten talked about enough. So I think our eyes going to be on you now. So.
Aaron Beard with the AP. This is for Jasmine. The men's team also made the Elite-8. I was curious if you guys got to watch kind of, and what your thoughts are about two Miami teams both getting a chance to play for the Final Four.
Yeah, we watched the game, and it was really exciting to, you know, watch them and both of us make it to Elite-8. That's never happened at Miami before, so it's a really exciting time for both men's and women's teams, and we're always rooting and cheering them on. And so hopefully we can both keep going and make it to the Final Four.
More questions? Right here in the middle.
Yes, with the USA Today Network. For Destiny and maybe Haley as well, can you guys pinpoint, I guess maybe the moment where the switch flipped? How have you guys been able to just make this run during the tournament. And obviously, you know, for a lot of people that's watching it and see whatever the number is beside your team's name, it's obviously been a lower seed in a couple of games. You guys have pulled those upsets. Has there been a singular moment that you guys can pinpoint? What was kind of the turning point?
Haley, you want to start?
I think after the Virginia Tech game, we had a long break, like 16 to 17 days, and we just got back into the gym and learned what we needed to get better for the March Madness tournament. And I think we're just adjusting. We're playing together, relying on our defense, and we're starting games off really, really strong. And that's something we're priding ourselves on. So I think just keep it going, keep getting stops, and just focusing on our defense.
Destiny, anything you want to add? She's got it. All right, right here in the middle.
Jacques Doucet, WAP-TV, kind of piggybacking on that to any of the players. Coach talked about Camp Miami and going to Camp Miami, and it's not a beach, obviously. Can you talk about kind of what you guys did? A lot of stuff without the basketball, a lot of conditioning. I mean, how would you describe it?
Jasmine, you want to start? Or Haley, whoever?
We just did. I'm assuming you're talking about like the break we had between ACCs and okay, we worked on ourselves a lot. We did a lot of like competitive stuff, necessarily like to make us really compete. Like we were competing against each other in practice. Like she would put us in teams and just like we had a lot of fun, but it was like competitive fun. We worked on our defense, like just many stuff that like we really worked on in August, but like we weren't able to really work on throughout the season. So like we kind of like polished things up, but like we competed a lot in practice. Like we were going at each other, but it was fun. Like we all like got our love back for the game a little bit, like because we were kind of drained, and it just allowed us to like have fun, compete, and just like play for something, and also like just you know get our grit back and like our swag back. So like it was tough, but it was like really fun and competitive, and like I feel like that's what we needed to like get our get back into the flow of things, and it worked.
Questions? Here, Aaron and then Andrea.
This is for Julia. You guys have blown a big lead. You've come back from a big deficit. You've won on a last-second shot. You've kind of done a little bit of everything in this tournament. I'm curious kind of what it's like to kind of be on a ride like this where it's just been so wild from game to game, and yet you keep winning and advancing.
Honestly, I don't think it was wild. I think we've been here before. We've done it all, been down, been up, been tied, maybe had to go into – we ever been to overtime before? No, but if we did, I think we know how to handle the situation. But, yeah, it's been ups and downs, but, we always bring it through no matter what, as long as we're together and have each other's backs.
Andrea?
This is for Julia and Destiny. I was talking to Coach Meier's first coach at Duke, who said, she gives this team heart, but these players also give her heart, your coach. I was just wondering what this ride has been like with her as your leader, getting to this point right now.
Destiny, you want to start?
Yeah, it's been amazing just because we doing it together for the first time together. So I think that that's like a blessing because Coach never been here and so have we. So we're just gonna keep riding out together, and to do it for her, it means a lot because she's been at Miami for a very long time. So we could always say this group has been, Coach Meier's first run in a March Madness right now. So I think it's a blessing, and we're gonna try to continue this run.
Julia, anything you want to add?
Yes. I honestly think Coach Katie is a wonderful coach. She's the type of coach that comes to her players when she knows something wrong. She's not going to beg you to come to her, but she's going to let you know that she's there for you. And from this point on, Coach Katie has been there. She comes to us in practice, and she has this look in her eyes, and she shakes our hands like she's a magician or something. Like she can see your soul, and she'll if she sees something wrong with you, she'll walk you out and be like, okay, let's talk. And I think that's the connection we need with our coaches. And Coach Katie, she definitely pours into us, and we definitely pour into her.
Down here on the right, Aaron.
This is for Haley. Just sort of piggybacking on what I was asking Julia, considering you guys have won in multiple ways, you've won by combined 8 points in 3 games. I imagine confidence was never a problem for you guys, but has this even helped confidence even more to kind of win the way you have and in the biggest stage and to kind of keep figuring out a way to do it each time?
Yeah, I think it's just the mentality we have. We've proven we can win in close games. We can come back from 16. It's a 40-minute basketball game, and we're going to play, and that's the mentality we have at Miami. So being able to close out close games, come back from a 17-point lead deficit, and then understanding that, it's a 40-minute game and they can come back, but we always tell ourselves, like, we're down 20 mentality. I think that's allowed us to be successful in this tournament, and it's March, so we're trying to win every game, no matter what it is, whatever lead we have. If it's by 3, it's by 3. It's still a win.
Right here in the middle.
Lola, I guess I'll direct this question at you. Your coach said that she's happy she has a team that's not afraid to get in the mud, meaning to play, scrappy. And how will that attitude be important in this game with Angel Reese and LaDeja and some of their rebounders, the challenge?
Well, we have a tough matchup coming up, but we're tough too. Like, we've been in situations like this. We played teams like these. And this is a team that is pretty similar to our game too. So it's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a dogfight, and it's been a dogfight since we started. So I think I'm pretty confident in our team. We're going to get out there, compete like we have been so far, and see what happens.
Maybe time for one or two more. Any questions? All right, one more here on the front.
I got a fun one. So yesterday, you guys got a FaceTime call from Lil Wayne, and then after the LSU game, he tweeted about Angel Reese. So who's Lil Wayne rooting for tomorrow?
Gotta ask Lil Wayne.
Ask Lil Wayne.
He said own team.
I think he likes women's basketball, and that's a win for women's basketball. So hopefully he comes to the game if he likes Angel Reese and our team.
Yep.
Pull up.
Lil Wayne, if you see this.
Tell him pull up.
Safe to say he will. Good answer. Any other questions? Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.